Hello everybody, welcome to this student-produced Reading Through History knockoff video. This project was produced by Camden Wu and myself, Natalie Wu. We are juniors at San Marino High School enrolled in Mr. Peter Picconi's 2020 to 2021 AP U.S. History course. The focus of this video is the cotton gin. In a nutshell, the cotton gin was an invention of the American Industrial Revolution that allowed cotton seeds to be removed easily from cotton bolls. Why was this machine so groundbreaking? How did it impact the United States economy? What was the effect on slavery in the South? Before the Industrial Revolution, cotton boll seeds had to be removed by hand, which proved to be time-consuming and tedious, especially in southern colonies, where a type of cotton known as short staple cotton was commonly grown. The seeds from this cotton often stuck to its fiber, making it even more difficult to process. Another type of cotton, known as long staple cotton, had seeds that were much easier to remove but did not grow well in the South. Therefore, a faster method of seed extraction was needed. Enter Eli Whitney, who is known as the creator of the cotton gin, the invention that revolutionized the cotton industry. He grew up on a farm in Westboro, Massachusetts, and later stayed on a plantation in Savannah, Georgia with Catherine Greene, widow of Revolutionary War Major General Nathanael Greene. Greene and her plantation manager, Phineas Miller, discussed the short staple cotton problem to Whitney, who worked to create a machine similar to a strainer that would remove the cotton seeds. A wooden container used to grip the cotton and pulled it through a fine mesh. Although the seeds were too large to pass through the mesh, the fibers of the cotton were dragged through freely. He designed a large gin that utilized horse or steam power and a small hand-cranked gin. Contrary to popular belief, Whitney was not alone in his creation and design of the cotton gin. Catherine Greene has been credited by some historians as the true inventor, with Whitney simply helping with the building and applying for patent, as women were not granted this right. Other historians suggest that Greene contributed to designing and funding the cotton gin, while it was actually Whitney's idea. Nonetheless, it is widely accepted that Greene played a major role in the cotton gin's development. Although Whitney was not the first to invent the cotton gin, he was the first to apply for a patent. Cotton gins already existed before Whitney designed his version, but since no other had previously received patents, Whitney is often credited with the invention. In the 18th century, long staple cotton gins were brought from India to the southern colonies. However, since they were unable to remove the seeds from short staple cotton, the southern farmers needed an improved design. Whitney's cotton gin was designed to expedite the process of removing seeds from harvested short staple cotton bolls. When cleaned by hand, 1 pound of cotton could be produced daily, but this increased to 300 pounds with the cotton gin.
Whitney knew that he would need a patent in order to prevent others from profiting off of his invention. If he could obtain one, he would have the right to his cotton gin for 14 years. However, due to a yellow fever epidemic, the federal government temporarily stopped, postponing the progression of his patent's approval until 1794. Whitney and Miller formed a cotton gin manufacturing company, planning to install the cotton gins in southern plantations and to charge farmers 2/5 of their profit from the cotton. Farmers in the plantations were ecstatic to have such an invention, but did not want to share their profits with Whitney and Miller. They decided to create different versions of Whitney's cotton gin and call them their own inventions, resulting in many lawsuits. In the short term, cotton production greatly increased, with the prices decreasing, allowing cotton to become the prime export of America. Since the South produced more cotton, the North was able to maintain a large supply of raw cotton to make textiles and cloth. Increasing Southern cotton production and the related growth of Northern manufacturing, banking, and shipping industries promoted the development of national and international commercial ties. By the mid-1800s, America was producing 75% of the world's cotton, with the New England colonies and England receiving most of it. Agricultural innovations such as the cotton gin powerfully accelerated the American economy and precipitated profound changes to the U.S. society and to national and regional identities. However, despite these sudden economic success, the slave population dramatically increased in the South. Although the cotton gin aided in cleaning the cotton, more people were needed to harvest to meet the growing demand, which nearly doubled every decade. Since slave labor was inexpensive, slavery grew stronger, the number of slave states increased, and slave owners profited greatly as a result of the invention. Despite this, Southern business leaders continued to rely on the production and export of traditional agricultural staples, which contributed to the growth of a distinctive Southern regional identity. Despite the increase in cotton production, Whitney barely made a profit off of his machines. It was those who had made different versions of Whitney's cotton gin before he received his patent that earned the most. People began to debate the idea of how the cotton gin suddenly made slavery so profitable. However, many agreed that slaves were already profitable before the cotton gin's invention, only increasing after its creation. Returning to another debate about the making of the cotton gin, there is a controversy about Catherine Greene's contribution. Regardless of how large her role was in the invention, Greene deserves a part of the credit and recognition that Whitney received. Although the cotton gin was created during a male-dominated society, Greene was still able to aid Whitney in the creating of the groundbreaking machine. Thanks to their genius, King Cotton became powerful in the South. Whitney was unaware that the invention would affect society so negatively, causing slaves to work relentlessly on larger plantations. Rather, the consequences of the revolutionary machine were driven by the ability to produce more cotton and fueled by desire for greater profit.